Alright, that's enough. You're not Prince Naveen, alright? Cue the damage. Hey, what's up, guys? Your boy Aaron, continuing our top 10 series, our top 10 most underrated animated Disney movies of all time. And we are down to our number 6 spot. Yes, right? Number 6. All right, enough of that. Last time. We're down to our number 6 spot, and this is our one and only spot in the one and only movie that we are going to be talking about, A Princess.
Yes.
And this one actually does have some musical numbers in it.
Actually
so we are talking about none other than The Princess and the Frog. The Princess and the Frog came out back in November 25th, 2009. And the budget of this was $105 million.
Damn.
All right. And it grossed $207 million.
Oh,
so it actually, they got their money back at least. So, it made the money. It did great. It even got nominated for Oscars for, some of the songs in the movie and things like that.
Definitely.
But why is it so underrated? What makes this movie so underrated? And, I'm going to go off and say it right away. And I think the reason why this movie is so underrated is because the following year we had one of the best modern movies that actually initiated the whole 3D animation era that we are in with now.
With Disney, yeah.
And I'm talking about Tangled.
Yes.
Tangled came out the following year in 2010.
Very
and
good.
Tangled was very, very good. So one of the great things about this movie, first of all, that I like is that Disney, their thing is always, they get their story. They always get like a story from somewhere else, and then they put their own little spin on it, right?
Yep.
But with this one, they made it so original that it was so great. And the whole vibe of the movie is so great. It's set in New Orleans, New Orleans. New Orleans. And the music goes so well with the environment at the time. New Orleans is well known for their jazz.
Yes.
And their big ensembles.
Birthplace of jazz right there.
And the whole score is awesome. It's great. The musical numbers are great. And it's something totally different from every other musical number that we've seen from Disney. And it was so great. So I just wanted to point that out. That was one of the best things I think about that movie, the music.
It's your typical non-traditional, stereotypical story. You
Yeah.
do have characters such as like the rich white family, but the girl that is the best friends with Tiana, which in this case Tiana is the minority that helps out in the house, and these two little girls grew up together and now they're adults. They're actually still good friends. They're very best friends. And the white rich girl is not a jerk. She actually when Tiana, unfortunately, her whole premise of the story, just in case for you that don't know it, she's trying to buy her own place to get a restaurant going. And she grew up with a mentality that her dad always told her, if you work hard, like a lot of our parents taught us, if you work hard, your dreams will come true, treat people right. But her dad even told her, but remember that even if you don't get what you want, it's all about what you need. And the dad is emphasizing about love and family, but Tiana has no time for that. This is the first protagonist, a female protagonist that is very, very solo. She is very hardworking on her own. And unfortunately, she gets, tangled, or not unfortunately, but there's a pivot that happens in her journey with Prince Naveen, I believe is his name.
That's
and so let's talk to me a little bit about Prince Naveen.
So, mentioning all these things about Tiana, she's a hard worker, she's doing all these things, so focused, but she ain't got no time for fun, all this kind of. And Naveen is the total opposite of what she is, He's grown up in a lifestyle where, he's a prince, everything has been handed to him, everything has been given to him, but he comes into this problem where his parents say, you know what, we're cutting you off. We're not going to be paying, for your whatever extravagant, getaways or extravagant life and all this kind of stuff. So either you find some work, or what his plan is to marry the rich
white girl.
Marry the rich white girl, in this case, Tiana's friend, and keep living his extravagant life, but through smooching off basically his father-in-law, what would be his father-in-law. This is definitely something, very different, totally different. And
speaking of different, don't mean to cut you off, but speaking of different, let's talk about the villains. They meet Dr.
Facilier.
Talk to me about Dr. Facilier, man. This
Dr.
guy,
Facilier.
they didn't hide anything.
First of all, the casting for him was great.
It was spot on.
The voice actor, the voice, perfect.
Yes.
I would not be able to think of anyone that could replace that voice. Was perfect for that character. You know, his smooth way of talking to it, because you know he's basically a witch doctor type thing.
Which in Orleans or New Orleans is actually is very
they're known
traditional.
For that.
It's part of their culture, the voodoo
and all this kind of stuff.
White magic, black magic, all that kind of stuff.
So he's really into all that magic stuff, and he obviously convinces like the butler. You know, he has a little musical number, which is very great. I like the way they manage it. I like the way that they manage it, how they go into it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like, how could I say, like,
it wasn't like, hey, we're singing now. It was just kind of like, whoa,
it's a smooth transition into it, and it's just a very cool way of getting to know him.
Which happens a lot in this movie. It's very just really good transitions.
Very good transition. So he convinces the butler into basically, you know, they do this little magic on the prince where he becomes a frog.
Yep.
And then they're using this necklace, voodoo type thing, where whoever wears it looks like the prince. So in this case, he's using the butler to disguise himself. And, you know, basically, you know, Dr. Facilier, he's just tired of being brought down by the big man, I guess. You know what I'm saying? He's like tired of struggling and all this kind of thing.
Having to make ends
meet. I wish they would have shown a little bit more of that.
On that side, you know, definitely.
You know, because we come to find out that, you know, he obviously, you know, he's tired of people just, you know, being rich and living this lavish life.
Give us the why exactly. Maybe there would be something that happened with
like
Big Daddy.
Yeah, they could have shown like a little backstory. I would have loved that.
Betrayed him or something.
Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been real nice. But anyways, the villain is awesome. The villain is great and
very good for the time and the culture, I think.
He's probably one of the darkest villains in Disney. If we really go down to it, Friends on the other side, people. Now
that you mentioned the dark side of it, the minions he uses. I mean, this guy's straight up like casting demons to go hunt these guys down, literally. And then you have where they meet a good amount of characters. Honestly, the alligator was but you know, he did his part in as a kid. As an adult, I didn't appreciate it, but as a kid, I really thought it was funny. But the guy that I really loved was the mosquito. Ray, you know, he has his thick accent, Savannah accent, Southern accent. And it's super cool. Mama Juju or whoever it was, I just referenced The Office, sorry.
Mama Odie.
Odie, and she's very great. She's very quirky and just fun and funny, and she's trying to teach them. Like, they have this whole musical score where she's trying to teach both of them
trying to let them know, like
what you're supposed to
message, value. You know, what you're really supposed to value is love and family, all this kind of. And it's just like, you guys get it, and then at the end they're like, yeah, I get it. Like Tiana's like, I get it. So what you're saying is, I gotta work even harder to get it. It's like, oh my god, and then it's just like,
no, but even to make it better, it's like your typical Disney movie. That song would have made the character gone convinced, like, all right, I get it now.
Exactly.
But the funniest thing is that Ray is like, all right, you guys shouldn't get it. Let's do it again from the top. 1, 2, 3. And the Pelicans are like, no, get out of here, man. It's very, again, dark in its own more modern way. I mean, Ray literally gets stepped on in the cemetery. Finally, the villain, while they're trying to get the medallion back and all that, Tiana...
His death is probably the darkest, honestly.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Tiana finally breaks the amulet, which basically opens the gates of literally hell.
Yeah. And you know Disney, Disney's like, all right, this is for kids, so we gotta like...
make it fun.
You know, they make them all colorful and stuff.
It's modern, they're like, all right, we gotta... put a couple of rainbows and roses.
They try to hide it like, oh, it's something like, they try to make, like they're all singing it like, are you ready?
We know where his ass is going. You know what I mean?
And he's like, no. He's like, you kind of feel bad for him. Like, I kind of like, when I watched this movie again, I kind of was like feeling bad for him at that moment.
I was like, what kind of debt does he have?
I was like, dang, oh my God. Like, that sucks for him. Because he's like straight up panicking because he knows where he's going. He's like, he's so panicking. He's like, no, please, like, look. And he's still the frog. I can still make it work. I can, just give me some more time, more minutes. Like, nope. Are you ready?
And so they
drag him, and they drag him to hell, quite literally. And then his face is on the tombstone. He's all like,
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely something totally different. Like, it's about a princess, but it's not your typical princess. They live happily ever after, but as like normal people. Like, they really kind of like how do I say, like, they really brought it down to earth.
Yeah, they brought down a lot of stereotypes.
With this story,
Definitely.
Give Tiana some love, give Naveen some love, and pray for Dr. Facilier.
Yeah, because he's on the other side with his friends.
Sad. Anyways, guys, peace out. That's it for us here today. Again, always make sure you like, share, subscribe.
Just clock us out, man.
Whatever. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at studio_146. And again, thank you for tuning in, and see you guys next week.
Peace.